Senate Appropriations, and we're still taking up bills. So our next bill is S98. And I believe Senator Lyons can run that through, and what we're talking about, any associated money would be coming from a special fund that has very limited uses, and this would be an allowable use of that funding.
So what this should make it, yeah,
We'll make it, yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Do you wanna come up?
Yeah, they can go right through.
Okay. And we also have Nolan here as well.
Good afternoon, Jen Carvey, Office of Legislative Counsel. We are looking at the Senate Health and Welfare recommendation on S98, which is an act relating to Green Mountain Care Board authority over prescription drug costs. The first section directs the Green Mountain Care Board in consultation with others to explore and create a framework and methodology for implementing a program to regulate the cost of prescription drugs for Vermont consumers and Vermont's healthcare system. And it directs the board to look at certain things, as well as anything else that they choose, but
Does it have a single formulary in it?
it does not have a single formulary.
No.
Do you want one?
No, we could do that.
It does that one off.
That's right. But I thought it's such a small state, we should just have a single formulary. And then prescribers don't have to remember, oh, you're this plan, you're this plan. And we get more leverage. So I just thought I'd bring that up.
Sure, well, you could mention it to the board, they're doing this study.
Okay.
All right, they're supposed to look at the experiences of other states that have, prescription drug affordability boards. Look at what the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services are doing for the Medicare drug price negotiation program that's getting underway. Other promising strategies from other states. Look at what the board's existing authority is, because one of the things they're gonna say is what they might need in the way of changes to their legislative language. They're supposed to report on the likely return on investment of the most promising options, and then what the likely impact would be of a cost containment program on other state agencies and the private sector. By next January, the board will provide its preliminary plan for implementing a program for regulating the cost of prescription drugs in Vermont and any proposals for legislative action that it would need to implement them to the House Healthcare and Senate Health and Welfare Committees. And then by January of the following year, 2026, they would come back with their final plan and anything else they need in the way of legislation.
So why are we making these permanent classified positions at this point in the
Yeah.
process?
Because they will be doing the actual, if there's a program, when there's a program set up, they would be doing the regulatory work or heading up the regulatory work.
Well, that's the when.
The board, well, so right, so they are leading the exploration, development, and implementation of the program. The board has pretty clearly told the Senate Health and Welfare Committee they do not have any available staff to do this.
To do the plan?
To do prescription drug
methodology
work.
framework.
Right, to create it, to then implement and regulate and do the cost regulation.
I guess all I was thinking was, oftentimes when we're doing something like this, we start out with a limited service, but the price, the cost is the same because the benefits and so forth. It was just,
They are.
it seems like by doing this, we've already determined that we're going to have something that's going to implement.
Yes, I think down the hall would
is-
like that to have already started and is
Yes.
settling for figure out how to do it first and then start doing it. But yes, I think that is the idea that the Vermont Care Board would do prescription drug cost regulation. They would start out by figuring out the best route to do so and then do it.
And they hire those people to help them figure it out.
Help those people to hire those people to help them figure it out and then do the regulation. So there's also, so you'll see, so it creates two positions. We'll look at this, creates two permanent classified positions to lead the prescription drug work. A director of prescription drug pricing and policy analyst for prescription drug pricing. And it appropriates $245,000 to the Green Mountain Care Board from the special fund the chair mentioned, the Evidence-Based Education and Advertising Fund, which you'll see coming up in the following sections.
So we've got ongoing costs of $245
Right,
and then another $250
yes, a one-time.
to contract with X.
Yeah.
Well, I would think you'd need to contract. That seems to be a pretty arcane
Right.
area. On
Yes.
the other hand, prescription drugs are one of our big drivers of healthcare costs, so, in the scheme of things, this is, I've forgotten, what, I got the figure, I think it was like our drug rebates alone in Medicaid are like 160,000, a million, I mean,
Million.
million.
It's gone up.
Yeah.
It used to be 86.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, and this is from, okay, let's keep going.
Okay, the sections, so the 250, additional 250,000 is to contract with experts to help the board. Sections 2 and 3 relate to the evidence-based education and advertising fund. Section 2 is the existing fee that is imposed on manufacturers of prescription drugs that are paid for by the Department of Vermont Health Access for Medicaid, Dr. Dinosaur, and Bee Farm programs. And that fee is 1.75% of the previous calendar year's drugs, Medicaid drug spend. And the money goes into this evidence-based education and advertising
So
fund.
we are changing the fee at all.
We're not changing the fee in this bill. I think it was, Nolan will talk about the history of it. It was increased fairly recently. But
Yeah, I know that.
there's a list of uses of the revenue from the fund. It started out with collection and an analysis of information on pharmaceutical manufacturing activities and analysis of prescription drug
This is just
data.
adding
These
them.
are existing uses. This would add the Green Mountain Care Board's prescription drug cost regulation initiatives as a permissible use. And that same language, similar language is in both sections 2 and 3, which are both the fee and the fund that the revenue lands in. And then there's language on the last page that caps the amount the board can use, saying monies from the fund to support the board's prescription drug cost regulation initiatives shall not exceed $1 million any one fiscal year.
That seems very high when, we've got the upfront of 250 for contractors and 245 ongoing. Where did the million, do we have $1 million in the fund?
We do.
Yeah.
We do right now.
Well, after we spend some of it, we will, how much do we have?
There's a balance of, for the record, the whole 9 joint fiscal. Right now, there's an unobligated balance of 5.2 million.
Yes, and they got funding money.
All right,
Did they get to spend money out of this fund without us appropriating?
no,
Then what is it?
That's why I wonder, why do we need this for? What would-
Yeah, it's a good question. There was interest in putting a cap on, but I'm not sure.
Right, is it the part million per year or is this?
Just
Show
showing
us.
us.
One fiscal year, but so the ongoing will be the staff person. Will they
Right.
come back and get
but
appropriation?
the whole thing is that in order to spend it, we have to appropriate it. So the question is,
Right,
why
do
do
we
we
need that?
need that language? Because we don't.
Yeah, you don't.
Because it would
And
just
it could
come
be
up,
not withstood.
Take it
Yeah.
out.
Anyway.
I don't think it adds anything, and
Yes.
Well, it
But it makes it seem
We're
like,
trying to make it
They get to
reassuring,
spend
but,
themselves.
you know,
it makes it like if they could expend it from.
Yeah,
yes. So,
so we take that out.
I would.
And I don't know if this committee would like to specifically receive any of the reporting.
Well, where is the report going?
This is the preliminary plan and final plan going to the House Health Service and Health and Welfare Committees. About the board's program to implement, to regulate prescription drug costs. Always feels strange to present it to a committee that's not a recipient, so I just thought I'd mention it if you.
Well, particularly since prescription drugs is such a big part of our budget, so I think, we should, you have a thought on where the report should go?
No, my question is the contract with the 250, is that truly one time? The work that they do, we're not gonna need anything more from them and
We don't.
from the experts, because they're,
from the experts.
yeah,
And the two positions are going to be able to look at what's going on in prescription drugs going forward without contracting again.
yes.
Well, we don't know that.
They might have to
They might
come
come
back.
back a second year, but they'd have to get the money appropriated through.
Well, that's what my ask is, because if they have to come, if we think they're gonna have to come back and ask for here, we're not gonna need a report because they're gonna have to come in their budget and ask us.
Well, but the report is really what the plan looks like for how they're gonna do the regulation. but not too
Yeah,
bad.
there will be a report on what.
So the question
methodology
would
that
be,
experts
who
are-
should,
That are.
Section two.
after this, correct.
I mean, the report is gonna come to the General Assembly, it's gonna get posted on the,
I think, I think that's fine.
We could ask,
Yes, we can have more, if you want to read it.
so at the moment, at least, the change that
We
we're
would
talking
like
about seems to be taking out that subsection D on the last page.
But
So,
why do they have 5.2 million in unobligated funds? Where did that come from?
It came from manufacturing, such as
Manufacturing.
the, on pharmaceutical manufacturing, and it's allowable under law, and even with negotiations, there were parameters around how that money could be used. When we first put that in, I think Sarah Copeland Hanses is one of the drivers, and maybe on Ginny on this,
So it
so,
was it was before her time.
oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay, so, or maybe its usage was something that has come up, so it just hasn't been spent for the permissible uses, and this would be one.
So are they overcharging?
No, it's a fee on the manufacturers, it's not on the prescription itself, it's on Big Pharma.
Yeah, but. I mean,
Well, maybe you can
I'm
hear
not
from
too
Nolan about the,
naive. I'm not naive about if I pay a fee or whatever, that fee gets charged back through to somebody. 'cause it
I
doesn't-
suspect, considering the revenues to, the pharmaceutical companies, what little they would pay in the course of a year, I think this has been building up, right?
Yeah.
Payment, so I don't know what,
Oh, that's over a period.
yes, so
Yeah.
you know, if you got $500,000 out of these huge manufacturers, it's,
Well,
it's
this
pretty tiny.
help with prescription.
Well, we hope so, and
Yeah.
other states have done something similar.
They're starting, yeah, we're slightly behind other states that have done this, including Colorado, Oregon, Maryland, I forgot the.
right, few states have stood up towards Colorado just after setting theirs up, and I think 2019 just identified their first drug and did an affordability analysis and actually determined in that case it was not unaffordable. But it's, you know, it's a slow process, but there seem to be opportunities to learn from what other
There's
states have done.
hugely expensive new drugs coming on the market, and these biologics are just, you know, infusions are just.
Right,
Yes, and what they're doing is the drug companies producing the drug for one specific disorder malady. And then they're starting to expand the use and keeping the price going up.
Like the weight
So,
loss.
Going like, yeah, exactly. And so that's one. Humira is the other. And the Medicare is also working on this with drug companies. And they just have come out with a ruling on drugs that are increased greater than the CPI, holding drug prices, certain specific drug prices for Medicare programs to a CPI rather than allowing them to expand 500 and whatever percent.
Well,
That's fairly new, so that's.
compared to what it was when Medicare Part D got passed and they had no
I
negotiation.
think this is for Part B,
So-
but anyways, okay.
My question is, if there's not further there are not further questions, with the, striking of D on page 6, which is part of section 3, is there a motion to move the bill favorably as amended? Senator Starr. A second? One put there, somebody want,
oh,
Senator Seer for a second. I think Senator Lyons will be the reporter.
Yeah.
And take it
I
out.
will with Karen then,
And we've gotten you out of here in time for,
yes, whenever whenever you're gonna take up my desk. Yes, I will, and I will go, draft the amendment and send it.
great, thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.
All right, so 247 we're holding. Our break we've already had. 114,
You wanna vote?
oh, sorry, I'm on, yes, I do want to vote, so.
Senator Lyons,
Yes,
Senator Pritchett,
yes,
Senator Sears,
Yes.
Senator Starr,
Yes.
Senator Weston, yes, Senator Kitchen.
Yes.
And Senator Lyons, which said was voted.
Okay, so 114. I guess that's also you, Senator Lyons, the psychedelic therapy.
It's, Michelle is here and
Oh.
Senator Gulick is a reporter, so
She said
Michelle.
Martine was gonna come.
Yes,
Gentlemen.
yeah.
All right,
She said.
yeah, come on up, come on. Hope we don't have any legislators on here.
No, Daryl came on,
Okay.
just for you.
And frequency of meetings. Senator Sears, you've got a reputation to uphold. How many meetings?
Do you want me to start and just tell you a little bit about it?
Sure.
So for the record, Michelle Child's Office of Legislative Counsel, and so the Senate Health and Welfare Amendment to S 114, it did start as a legislative committee, and then Senate Health and Welfare changed it, so there's no legislators on there. The bill is introduced, allowed for 8 meetings, and we did not change, so I figured that you would
Senator Sears.
Change that as you
got the
like.
phone seal on. We'll move it
Yeah.
down to 5 or stand.
I mean,
5 meetings, okay. And you'll see the makeup, there's 8,
Experts. You should put experts in.
What a novel consideration.
I can't believe
I mean, that's what
you went to people that are doing the
We
work.
didn't want legislators.
I mean, people who knew something about the subject.
I think that's amazing.
Well, sorry, Michelle, but you can see we've had a busy.
No, sure, it's fine, it's great. And as usual with their language that you have in there, the folks who are, members of the committee are otherwise being paid and reimbursed for.
Which is our standard
their days.
language.
Correct.
Which I imagine they all are.
I would imagine, most of them would be, it could be that maybe there's someone who's a psychologist or
Psychedelic
psychiatrist.
Society.
What
of
is
Vermont.
that?
We have one.
Huh,
Yeah,
they have a society for
Every,
so many things. Okay, I would suspect that there would be very little per diem involved because Brattleboro Retreat, they're already paid. Psychological Association, they might, I don't know.
no, they're actually gonna,
Bill?
call the meeting,
No.
convene the first meeting and.
A medical practice, they're getting paid. OPR, Commissioner of Health, so I would think the per diems would be very minimal at best. Simply because we don't pay them if they're already getting compensated.
And I also just, while it doesn't directly relate to money, I just wanted to identify that, so the bill is introduced still and has the name, it's being renamed at the end because the provision that was in the bill is introduced that decriminalized psilocybin is out of the bill, and so it's just the working group, but one of the things that the working group is to do is to report back on what they believe are the public health impacts of potentially decriminalization. So whether there's risks or positives related to decriminalization, just in the public health. But the decrim is out.
So do we want to amend 8 to 5, considering the composition of the group, or should we let
then you
that
have to take
determine?
who to take,
I just leave it, yeah, I think all the
No, the
people.
8 meetings.
I know,
Oh,
but, yeah.
So I would just leave it, because
Okay.
I think most of them are not, it's without legislators. It really,
Two.
yeah, so I think rather
Not
than
more than.
an amendment,
One, you could say not more than 2.
I don't,
8's good.
considering what it would take to amend the bill and report it, shall we? Do we care that passionately? Is there any passion here around the table?
No.
I'm looking,
I'm okay letting it run.
all right,
Okay.
so could I have a motion to move
So
the bill? All right, Senator Perch, let's move the
I'll
bill,
second.
seconded.
Lyons,
Yes.
Person,
Yes.
Sears,
Yes.
Star,
Yes,
Western, yes, Kitchen.
Yes. I think probably Senator Lyons
Right,
should report on behalf of us.
Yeah.
I would think
Thanks
the
so
impact,
much.
which is the minimum,
You've run
we
into
would
Senator
say.
Gulick, you
Yeah.
can tell her she's,
Okay.
doesn't need to think for her.
Thank you.
so,
Okay, so now we're
Thank you.
up to 231. And this is also from your committee, Jenny, a pilot for community nurse programs?
Oh, it is.
Vermonters?
Yeah, it is.
It requires a report.
It's a report. I don't have it go right.
And they pledge,
Community nurse program.
Right, I don't know who's reporting it.
It's Senator Williams.
Senator Williams is reporting it. Thank you.
is he able to come in?
Yes, they were taking a vote in Senate Ed, which is why Senator Gulick couldn't come. So I'm hoping that he will be able to come forward. So if you want.
I'm seeking to partner with local community news partnerships, make pledge community funds to draw down. Oh,
Go get some ash.
So, yeah, so right now,
so what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna go offline, take a break, because we don't have someone to present the film. And, we can-
Well, I'm gonna go get the ash.
no, that's what I'm saying, we're
Maybe
gonna go
I'll-
offline
I
and
will-
take a break.
good.